What if I told you everything you've been taught about confidence is complete BS? All this advice about standing tall, speaking loudly, and taking up space, while it's not completely wrong, it's missing the whole damn point. Like, I spent years chasing what I thought confidence looked like. I'd see these people who seem to have it all figured out. The ones speaking loudest in the room or posting on social media that they had all their stuff together. And I'd think, that's what confidence is. That's what I need to be. But the thing is, I was chasing a ghost, a facade. And if you're here, maybe you are too. Like, I'm not here to give you some quick fix or to tell you to fake it till you make it, because I've been down that road and it didn't lead me anywhere good. I'm here to tell you what confidence actually is and why most people and what they're doing isn't actually working for them. Because the brutal truth is, confidence isn't what you think. It's not about appearing bold or appearing loud or impressive or perfect. It's something deeper. And the good news is, it's something anyone can learn, and that's including you. Look, you might not have seen those claims that 85% of people struggle with low self-esteem. Now, while I don't know that's true, I do know most people I talk to feel like they're faking it most of the time. Now, for most of us, confidence issues probably go back to childhood. Maybe you weren't encouraged or you taught that you have value no matter what you do. For others, it's about how popular or liked that we think we are. So we're constantly checking if people approve of us. And that's exhausting. So what do? We try to mimic what confident people look like. Fake it till you make it. We speak louder, we take up more space, we try to dominate conversations, we work on our body language, we buy the right clothes, we pretend we don't care what others think, and for a minute, it works. People respond differently. Even people who aren't actually competent but act like they are get treated as though they're great. But inside, you feel like you're still acting. Like one wrong move, and you're going to be exposed as a fraud. And that's because you're trying to build confidence from the outside in, and that's not going to last. Real confidence doesn't come from how you act or what you wear or how much space you take up. It comes from something much deeper. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. I remember this moment clearly. I was in a meeting doing my usual thing, trying to project this image of someone who had it all figured out. Speaking with authority, using all the right words, trying to impress everyone in the room, and halfway through I caught myself. I realized I wasn't even listening to what others were saying because I was so wrapped up in how I appeared. And I was exhausted. I was exhausted from performing. And the worst part was, I knew I wasn't being real. I was playing some character that I thought people wanted to see. And it hit me. I wasn't confident in the slightest. I was just good at pretending. And pretending is fucking exhausting. Look, the real shift happened when I stopped trying to appear confident and started focusing on something completely different. And that's something that changed everything for me. Look, here's what nobody tells you about confidence. It's not about feeling great or looking perfect or being better than other people. Confidence at its core is about being faithful to yourself. That's it. That's the whole secret. The word itself gives us a clue. Fidence. The fidence part of confidence is relating to the Latin word fidus, which means faithfulness. The con means with. So self-confidence actually means being faithful to yourself. I call it self-fidelity. Being true to yourself even when it's uncomfortable, even when it might cost you something. Think about it. When you meet someone who's truly confident, what do you actually respond to? Is it their fancy clothes? Is it their loud voice? Or is it something else? Is it the fact that they seem confident and comfortable in their own skin? They don't seem to be playing a part. And the truth is, truly confident people aren't what we are led to believe. They're actually more likely to be warm, kind, and non-defensive. They smile instead of giving off some intense, dominant stare. They're humble, approachable, and a lot of the time they're going to have healthy relationships. The most confident people I know aren't the loudest or the most impressive. They're the ones who actually know who they are and they own it. And that's whether people like it or not. But here's something else that is going to flip your understanding of confidence. That stereotype of confidence we see in the media, the dominant, intense, never wrong person who's always achieving and winning. That's not confidence, that's edging into narcissism. Studies show that narcissistic people seem appealing at first. It's what one researcher calls the chocolate cake effect. Like chocolate cake, that initial flash of overconfidence seems great, but it fades quickly because they lack warmth and empathy. People were actually more attracted to those with moderately high confidence rather than extreme confidence. And why? Because extreme confidence signals that there might be some narcissistic tendencies. And that's a red flag for most people. So what does self-fidelity look like in practice? It means that when I'm in a pressure-filled situation, I don't focus on how I want to appear to others. Instead, I ask myself, what is true for me in this moment? If I see someone I want to talk to, I'll approach them even if it feels scary. In group discussions, I'll share my opinion even if it's not popular. If something bothers me in a relationship, I speak up rather than avoiding conflict to keep the peace. Have you noticed something important there? None of this requires feeling amazing or proving that you're better than other people. You don't need to be wealthy, you don't need to have the perfect body or achieve some impossible standard. All you need is to know who you are and own that. That's whether people like it or not. And the good news is, when you start living this way, everything changes. But research shows that authenticity builds a sense of self-worth that isn't tied to external achievements or other people's opinions. You become less dependent on outside validation, and there's no one way to look or act confident. The loud, attention-grabbing person at that party can be confident, but so can a quiet, thoughtful person who listens carefully before sharing their opinions. Look, I've met people with completely different personalities, introverts, extroverts, and anything in between, who are deeply confident. What they have in common is their ability to recognize and stay true to themselves. That's what self-fidelity is all about. Knowing who you are and owning it. If being true to yourself is the answer, then why isn't everyone just doing it? It's hard. The reason it's so hard goes back to our most basic human struggle, the conflict between being accepted and being authentic. This is something we've dealt with our whole lives. We don't want to lose the acceptance, the connection, the approval, or the love of people in our life. So what do? We sometimes ignore our own needs. We stay quiet about issues. We hide parts of ourselves that we think other people won't accept or appreciate. And in trying to keep acceptance, we sacrifice our authenticity. And that destroys our confidence. But once again, here's the good news. The moments when you take that risk to be your true self, even when it feels like you might lose a connection, these are the moments when you really build that genuine confidence. That's when self-fidelity shines. And I want to make something crystal clear. Being self-confident doesn't mean everyone has to agree with you. You don't need to convince other people that your opinion is right. Self-confidence is simply owning who you are and where you stand. One of the most powerful things about self-fidelity is that it doesn't just make you feel good, it also earns you respect. When you stop people-pleasing and staying true to yourself, people begin to notice and they treat you differently. If you act as though you're valuable, people will believe it and treat you accordingly. If you act like you don't matter, others will follow your lead. This is important because many of us don't actually need to be more likable. We're already warm, already curious, already caring. What we need is to balance all that warmth with self-fidelity, knowing and owning our worth. When you mix likability with self-fidelity, it becomes an unbeatable combination. You show that you care about others, not at the expense of devaluing yourself, and that, my people, is a deeply attractive quality. I've seen it with my own eyes, how this changes everything in relationships. When partners share their genuine feelings, it creates a sense of connection, like being on the same wavelength. But on the flip side, hiding your true self can have some serious downsides. Suppressing emotions increases stress and weakens intimacy over time. Not just for you, but for your partner too. At our core, most of us want to be loved for who we really are. despite our flaws and our imperfections. And that's why self-fidelity is so important in relationships. I talked to someone once who thought they were putting their partner's needs ahead of their own. They thought they were showing love by going along with what their partner wanted. They thought saying yes to everything would keep the peace. So they were shocked when their partner told them they were losing attraction and losing their interest. And they were confused because they believed their actions were demonstrating love. Here's what I told them. Having self-fidelity in a relationship is a deeper version of love. You love them so much that you're willing to tolerate the discomfort of being honest with them. This isn't easy, especially for those who want to make others feel good. It's actually a sacrifice. It's actually a sacrifice. But it's one that ultimately leads to stronger and more fulfilling relationships. I've had to learn this lesson again and again in my own life. Practicing self-fidelity doesn't change how people see us, it changes how we see ourselves. I once said something crazy, we could call it a rejection month. I made this point to face rejection repeatedly. At first it felt terrible. My confidence, and especially the kind tied to external validation, tanked completely. But as I kept going, something amazing happened. I felt my confidence rise in a different way. It wasn't about how others saw me, it came from being authentic and faithful to myself. I was doing the hard things that truly mattered to me. I wasn't letting fear hold me back. I remember saying to myself, I feel so confident now, not because people like me, but because I like myself. And the mad thing is, as soon as that happened, people started liking me more too. Look, self-fidelity isn't just a confidence builder, it's a game changer for how we feel about ourselves and our lives. Self-fidelity isn't about how you look to others or how you present yourself. Our focus is internal. But when you live in alignment with your true self, you stop chasing confidence. It happens naturally. You stop seeking approval from others because you trust yourself. And the best part is the relationships, the respect and the happiness are built on something real. And that's the true power of self-fidelity.